Today we delve into one of the most intriguing enigmas of religious and archaeological history, the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant is a wooden chest covered in gold described in the Bible, which according to the book of Exodus contained the 2 stone tablets of the 10 Commandments written by the hand of God. According to the letter to the Hebrews in the New Testament, it also contained Aaron's staff and a jar of manna. Aaron's staff is a famous biblical object known for its miraculous properties and central role in various stories of the Old Testament. Aaron, who was Moses' brother, used this staff in numerous significant events. During Moses and Aaron's confrontation with the Pharaoh of Egypt, Aaron's staff was transformed into a snake to demonstrate God's power. Manna is famous for being the food that God miraculously provided to the people of Israel during their 40-year journey through the desert after leaving Egypt. This food is also central to the Exodus narrative. It is described as small, round, and white, similar in appearance to coriander seed. The taste is compared to honey cakes. It was said to appear with the morning dew and had to be gathered before the sun melted it away. The episode is set approximately 1 year after the Exodus from Egypt. According to Scripture, the Ark was built by Moses under direct instructions from God on Mount Sinai. However, over the centuries, the Ark has been the subject of speculation and legend, and its current whereabouts are unknown, leading to numerous theories and fruitless searches. Some believe the Ark is hidden somewhere in the Middle East, while others suggest it may have disappeared from the face of the earth. The Ark of the Covenant has obsessed historians, archaeologists, and religious scholars for centuries. According to the Old Testament, its design was dictated by Yahweh to Moses to store the tablets of the law. However, its historical trail disappears 2,600 years ago in Jerusalem. Many researchers are trying to better understand the myth. This past summer, a group of archaeologists led by Israeli professor Israel Finkelstein from Tel Aviv University excavated Kiriath-Jearim, known as the City of the Forest. It is one of the few places where the Bible locates the Ark that had not yet been thoroughly investigated. According to the book of Samuel, it was the place where it was moved to after being recovered from the Philistines and remained there for 20 years until King David returned it to Jerusalem, where it would end up stored in Solomon's temple. Join our channel to discover more fascinating stories like this one. Follow and support the channel with a like. It is known that the Ark of the Covenant was a container that housed important relics for the people of Israel. The 2 stone tablets that Moses placed there in Horeb, where Jehovah made a covenant with the children of Israel when they came out of the land of Egypt. Unfortunately, it was lost at some point between the 7th and 6th centuries BC. Most people think it was lost during the destruction of the temple by Nebuchadnezzar in 587 BC, but some scholars suggest it disappeared even earlier. The Ark was never part of the Second Temple. When the Roman general Pompey the Great took Jerusalem in 63 BC, he entered the Holy of Holies and found nothing except the menorah and some liturgical vessels. An interesting medieval tradition is that the Ark is kept inside the high altar of the Basilica of St. John Lateran in Rome. This, along with other objects from the temple, was supposedly taken to Rome after the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD as spoils of war. Later, Constantine gave these sacred objects to Pope Sylvester, who placed them in the Lateran Basilica. In the early 12th century, the canons of the Lateran Basilica prepared a document called Description of the Church of the Lateran. It was like a medieval guide, explaining to pilgrims and tourists what they would find when visiting the Church of Lateran. After describing the history of Lateran and listing many of the relics of the martyrs kept inside. In the Lateran Church, which is the capital of the world, there is a pontifical throne of the Apostolic Church, and the main altar of the same church is the Ark of the Lord's Covenant. Or rather, as they say, the Ark is inside, and outside it is hidden by an altar, which measures the same as the Ark in length and width, between 4 columns of red porphyry under a certain beautiful canopy, in which certainly, as they say, there is a great sanctuary. This same Ark, with the candlesticks and other objects of the temple, Titus and Vespasian took from Jerusalem. According to Judeo-Christian mythology, the Ark of the Covenant is the recipient of great divine power. This mysterious object was guarded in the Temple of Jerusalem, where the Hebrew people worshipped Jehovah through it. Numerous apocryphal legends circulating in North Africa and some regions of the Middle East attribute supernatural powers to the tablets. The Israelites had a great fear of such supernatural power, showing respect for it. An example of this was the story of Uzzah and the Ark of the Covenant. The narrative tells that while the ark was being transported, the oxen pulling the cart stumbled, and a man named Uzzah took control of the ark. God's wrath was kindled against Uzzah, and he struck him, and he died. Uzzah's punishment seems extreme for what we might consider a good deed. Around these legends, many others were woven, including the Nazi obsession with occultism and relics that would delight Hollywood as the Indiana Jones movie. It is said to be in the Church of St. Mary of Zion, also called the Ark Chapel, in the sacred Ethiopian city of Aksum. In that place, many are forbidden to cross the fence surrounding the chapel. More than almost 45 million Ethiopian Orthodox Christians are convinced that the Ark of the Covenant was brought about 3,000 years ago to Aksum in northern Ethiopia, and that since then it has been jealously guarded by these monks in the modest Church of St. Mary of Zion. But how did it get there? According to Coptic tradition, the Queen of Sheba and King Solomon had a son, Menelik I, who became Emperor of Ethiopia. Menelik, upon reaching adulthood, returned from his homeland in Ethiopia to see his father, to which he would have been responsible for moving the precious ark where it has remained. The last emperor of Ethiopia, Haile Selassie, in the 1950s, built a bunker that would later be known as the Church of St. Mary of Zion. The monks living in the small Church of St. Mary of Zion, also called the Ark Chapel, in the sacred Ethiopian city of Aksum, are forbidden to cross the fence surrounding the chapel. They cannot leave the task that has been entrusted to them, which is to watch over until the day of their death. But the truth is that after the destruction of Solomon's temple in Jerusalem, no one knows for certain where the Ark of the Covenant went. After disappearing without a trace and with no known record of its whereabouts, the place where it could actually be found remains one of the great mysteries today, not only of history, but, in particular, of archaeology. What is certain is that almost 45 million Ethiopian Orthodox Christians are convinced that the Ark of the Covenant was brought about 3,000 years ago to Aksum in northern Ethiopia, and that since then it has been jealously guarded by these monks in the modest Church of St. Mary of Zion. Many Ethiopians affirm the presence of the Ark in the chapel. Even the deacon of the temple, Zemekale Brani, expresses that God himself chose this land, and Aksum as the most sacred city. Men in the West always need visible proof, but we Ethiopians do not need to see the Ark to know that it is here. We simply feel it. Analyzing things from another point of view, we can understand the meaning of this covenant between God and man, as we can see with the event of February 22nd, 2021, where the army attempted to loot the Church of St. Mary of Zion, but the faithful of Ethiopia were willing to risk their lives to defend it. They believe with their hearts, minds, and souls that the Ark is with them. However, we have focused so much on searching for it from every corner of the earth, but perhaps the secret is not in searching for it, but in letting it appear. According to a biblical scholar, the Ark will appear one day. Revelation 11:19 states, "And the temple of God was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the Ark of his covenant. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and great hail." In Jerusalem, there is a site called Megiddo, which is also known as Armageddon. This is the site where the Battle of Armageddon is supposed to take place, when the end of times arrives. Many think that this is the place where the Ark of the Covenant will reappear, and with it, the confrontation of God against the nations of man will be revealed. But in this battle, it has not been clear who these refer to. Some interpretations claim it will be against Israel and the Jews, others against Jerusalem, and a third hypothesis speaks of Jesus Christ alongside his saints. However, when that day comes, the world will never be the same again. But is today's society prepared for this revelation? Nowadays, people seek tangible proof of their faith, whether we are right or wrong. However, the Ark is nothing more than a representation of how insignificant human beings are, and that there is a force beyond what we believe. What do you think about the Ark? Would you like to propose a topic for the next video? Let us know in the comments section. Don't forget to leave us your like and share the video. We are waiting for you for our new videos. Until next time.